Teferi, cat ears, onekomimi, fake lashes, and personal values. I talk about letting go of attachments, and especially in our nerdy world, I guess we have just stuff. And some of this stuff is of real personal value to us, and other stuff is just there. So I started in my everyday life, every time I touch something, I look at something, ask myself, do I need that? Do I want to keep that? Or is it just an attachment and I'm just hoarding it? So today in the morning I opened my cupboard in the bathroom and I saw a huge box full of fake lashes. And remembered a time where I went to many conventions and also in my everyday life I liked to wear fake lashes. Now beware, on the one hand I still like to wear them today, but I don't, because in the past I had false beliefs that women have to wear mascara or fake lashes, or otherwise, at least I have to, otherwise I look boyish. Stopped wearing them, I just kept this box.
How do you feel about lash extensions?
And in another box I found these cat ears, as the anime nerds know. And I also had many cosplays where I just wore them because I thought they were cute. But I think since 4 or 5 years they're just lying around. So I asked myself, do I want to keep these things? Maybe I will need them sometime. And I have many things in my apartment where I think maybe there will be one moment in my life where I will need this particular thing and then I'm happy that it's there, which is why I'm keeping it for years. So I asked myself, is it of personal value or is it really my value thinking that way, keeping things that I maybe want to use, like when I maybe want to do a cat cosplay again? And I realized that's not my value I'm living.
What do you mean by that?
But the value of my mother and grandmother, World War generation and post-World War generation, where hoarding things had a different value, where it was maybe a good thing to keep things because you couldn't get everything anywhere like you can today. And I realized I set myself the goal of either use the thing that I found lying around and not being used for years, or I give it away. I give it to charity, or we have a custom here to just put things on the street as a gift for someone, or I sell it secondhand. Whatever feels good. In our nerdy world, values play a very important role. And I thought about what character might have experienced a huge change in personal values and might be a very good example for what I'm talking about. And the character that came to my mind is actually, he became a favorite of mine, Teferi. This is a card of Teferi when he was still a student.
Dope. Bro.
For those of you who do not know magic, Teferi is, at least in the beginning, he was just a guy who was very gifted in using time magic. He went to an academy, learned much about how to work with time, how to use time magic, and because he is very talented, he just followed his curiosity and did experiments and just wanted to do whatever he felt was interesting to do. The flavor text on this card, Disruptive Student it's called, says Teferi is a problem student, always late for class, no appreciation for constructive use of time, says his progress report. So during that time, for Teferi, experimentation was an important value. Self-expression, curiosity were all the drivers behind what he did. Well, and many things happened in magic history and he became a planeswalker, meaning he became a very powerful being that can, walk between planes or worlds, you could say. and had even greater power. But during that time, he experienced many losses. His homeland was lost. He lost many friends during his life. Because of his power using time, I don't know if he's immortal or just ages very, very, very slowly, but he outlived a wife that he had. He met his adult daughter, and during that time his values changed dramatically. Family became a very important value for him. Protecting others, being, as you see on this card, being like a very honorable and powerful but also trustworthy person because of his powers. So during his lifetime, what is important for him changed, and the course of actions, what he just did in his life, also changed.
Now, it's time to face it.
And when you look at your own life, maybe things that were important to you 5, 3, 2 last year changed and you aren't really aware of it.
This one. That one.
For example, in my case, stuff that I was using for 5 or 10 years ago that was just lying around there. And first, my value was never hoarding stuff because I love to let go of things. I love to get new things and let go of old things. And I also don't have this false belief anymore that like girls need to wear mascara, girls need to wear makeup, otherwise I'm ugly and so on, like those typical low self-worth issues. So now I see it's time to let go of these things if I really don't want to keep them. Where in your life maybe you experienced things that just don't really feel like your current identity anymore. Maybe you still cling onto those things because in the past they did give you good emotions, or also people. What kind of people do you want to have in your life now that have corresponding values? Or what kind of people is maybe it's time to let them go or to reduce contact?
お母さん、お兄ちゃん、みんな。
So, as for me, in my time in school and university, I had many teacher pet friends, like friends who were really into science, into getting the best grades, and we all were just always studying, and that was the most important thing. Nobody did anything creatively in their life. Nobody was like the lunatic doing their own thing. And those people now often have their jobs, and I have a new circle of people. Friends? That is more open to creative stuff, that is more open to following your passions. And I decided to let go of the other people, although they are still beautiful people. But I realized they just don't really fit to my values that I have. And the most important thing that you can do is live according to your values. And maybe the question comes up how to find out what kind of values are important to you. Often you find out about your values when they are hurt. So when somebody acts and you feel like, no, that's not how it should be, I must talk to them, I must tell them that it's wrong, whatever. For example, if somebody down-talks somebody is in your family and you just feel like, no, that's not possible, then family might be an important value for you, or being friendly to people. Or for example, as I realized when I had a corporate job, it wasn't really... People were looking strangely when I dressed the way I did, when I like wearing like anime kawaii style, although I did a little bit of business touch up, but it still looked like a school uniform, for example, and not like your typical gray corporate suit. And my value of self-expression was limited, working in a corporate job. And I felt like that was horrible. I tried to tweak my ways in, like wearing maybe a little ribbon in my hair, or maybe wearing a red blazer instead of gray. But still, that was a broken strategy because the value of self-expression to me personally was really important. So whenever you feel uncomfortable, maybe with somebody or in an environment or doing something, you could ask yourself, maybe a value of mine is hurt right now. Maybe it's not according to my values, and that is why I feel uncomfortable. And then the other way around, what might be my value? What might be important to me right now? Because when you act according to your values and when you align what you are doing in your life with your values, then you probably reach whatever goal you want to have, and you just feel good, because the value is really your core. It's what you stand for. It's what you want to be known for after you leave the planet. Be aware of when you feel your values might be hurt, and also look at what things, people, environments, what kind of stuff in your life is maybe from an old identity with old values, and what else could you bring into your life that is according to your recent and important values. Be it a new circle of friends, or maybe trying out a new hobby, or switching places, moving places, going somewhere else, spending time somewhere else. When you try to live your life according to your values, it feels fulfilling. It feels just right. So whenever you feel something is wrong in your life, just take a moment to consider that maybe in that moment you are not living according to your personal values. Teferi, if this Teferi would go back in that time, he would probably do many things differently. And if this Teferi would change places with that one, he would maybe destroy all the planes with his crazy time magic. I don't know what would happen. We probably won't get to know, but who knows? So...